One Extra.
So that's Wednesday night here on the Home of New Music with me, DJ Target, on BBC Radio 1 Extra. And if you've been listening over, we started this about a year ago now, sitting down with some of your legendary artists, some of your favourite artists, and just going in depth, looking back at their early inspirations, tracing the career to date, looking forward to the future, the aspirations. Sometimes it gets controversial. We really go in, man, and tonight I've been really looking forward to sitting down with this guy because we go way back personally, and not only that, he's had such a legendary story, journey and career to date. I just feel like it makes sense for us to sit down and go in depth with Jammer. Mm-hmm. How you doing, my bro?
I'm alright, T, man. I'm good at the
Jeez, I could have made that into like a much longer intro, man, but I feel like there's plenty.
Yeah, we could have, but
exactly.
We could have, but sometimes, we don't need to,
Don't need to overplay.
Yeah, we know what's going on, and we're going to talk about it anyway.
Exactly.
We're going to find out what's cracking.
That's what I was going to say, man. We've got a lot to talk about without wasting time on intros, man. But I want to start at the very beginning, like I do when I sit down with artists when we go in depth, man. I want to take it back to those early inspirations, man, because you grew up in East London, like so many of the first generation of grime artists, those early foundation layers. But what was it actually like for you growing up before you got involved in being a DJ or picking up a microphone? What was life like in Jammer's household?
For me, like in the household and like in my social life, I always had my identity as when it comes to like music, but not making music. Yeah. Like everyone just knew I was around music and stuff. So. I was just like when you're in the ends, really at that stage before you've really done anything, it's just about like what you are. Like when you come to somewhere, like what's your impact like? When you come in the room, what do you bring? Do you know what I'm saying? And it was just about like how you look, what you're wearing, and just carrying yourself. You know where we're coming from. Yeah. It's like, mate, it's like really it started with fashion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you wasn't looking correct, you wouldn't even have a chance to
even. You might even get a chance to speak,
to spit, to do anything. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So at that time, it was just like identity. In the end, is just trying to survive. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Stay out of trouble. In school, obviously, I was a bit. You get me troublesome in school, so I was going through like I was moving schools. I went to 3 different schools. So like. I was just really trying to, people used to, I look different, innit? So I used to go through a lot of different problems, like people trying to take the piss out of my hair or like, other things that I was going through that actually made me who I am now. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's way before music. I was like dealing with, a lot of situations that I had to bring myself through. And I think like music was the thing that kind of took my attention away from all of that and just being in the ends and like people trying it and like having to deal with all of this stuff. So I just locked myself in the basement. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I just went to the basement. Now, the only thing I can remember is when I actually got my studio, I was like, yeah, man, I knew this is what I need to do. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's way before I even made any music.
Wow, so like I guess, growing up, like you said, music, for so many people as well, music has been a distraction or a term, a form of expression or a form of, just redirecting certain energies, man. What kind of stuff was you listening to in those early days?
I was listening to like, obviously I was into a lot of hip hop, you know what I'm saying, and listening to a lot of like Dead Presidents, Tupac, Biggie, Nas, and obviously growing up, my like bashment, but then obviously my sister, she used to listen to a lot of like Cold Tough Enough Brown, and stuff like that. So I used to hear that as well. So at first when I used to hear it, I used to be like, what's that weird music? You know what I'm saying? Like that's mental. And then started to listen to it. Then Garage came in, and obviously the whole jungle before that. You know what I'm saying? So I have a wide range of music, and obviously reggae. I listen to everything. Like there's not any jazz. There's not a genre of music that I don't listen to.
So before you'd even picked up a microphone or even, like you said, started making music, you was already like fully equipped with like, I guess a full plateau of like different genres that you've been listening to growing up.
Palette for music.
Yeah.
Obviously my dad was a bass player and he had a band as well. They had a band, and you know, I was obviously going to a lot of rehearsals and being around a lot of music from early. So from, say, like even 7, 8, I was in the studio, and this is live studio. These are recording live, like strumming away, do the take again. They got to do the whole song.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, them
It's not
ones.
like,
Can't just record that one little piece in.
They got to do the whole song. So I come from seeing that. So then elevating to obviously Logic, where you can do individual recordings, piece, and go back and stuff like that. So I've been in the studio from early. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think it'd be a good time to play one of those early 90s inspirations, man. Bit of Busta Rhymes, bro. Woo-ha, this is a big record.
That was a turning point for me. When I saw that record cover and I heard the beat and I heard the vocal and that music, that was a big turning point for me. And to be honest, a lot of influence, like Busta Rhymes had a big influence, and Eminem in my visuals and stuff, if you look at Merkle, man. So this was a moment for me.
Let's do it, man. If you're just checking in, that's Busta Rhymes and Woo-Ha. We are in depth right now. My special guest, Jammer. We're just going through some early inspirations, man. I kind of want to bring it up to the point where you decided, after listening to music, after enjoying music for some time, when did you decide, right, I want to actually do this. I want to make some music. I want to express myself this way.
It took a little while to get to actually making something myself. Obviously, I worked in Essential Direct, you know, at the time.
I was actually gonna mention that. That was the day that I think that was the day we actually met. Danny Weed had produced Creeper.
Yeah.
Because I've been writing about this recently, so I've been like flooding back through all my memories. So Danny Weed made Creeper. He came down to bring some copies of it to Essential Distribution, which was
Sarah Lockhart was at the time.
Exactly, who now runs Rinse FM with Genius. And first person we were greeted by when we got there was you.
Yeah.
I remember that. And like, we already knew who you were. Of course, the pirate radio scene was already up and running and people were doing their thing. But like, just meeting you that first day, like, I always remember that.
And that was important for me for a lot of things. That place showed me a lot of things because I was in there. That was my first job and my only job. But I was only there to learn and to see what was going on. So I got to meet a lot of people like yourselves, So Solid, all of these guys that was making music. And at this time, I didn't actually produce any records at the time. I was just mixing, like DJing.
Yeah.
Man knew me from the ends. I'd go on sets with Double and mix, and man knew my name. But then the whole Essential Direct experience, I was working. They had a studio that they was trying to get rid of as well. So I'd like dock my wages and get parts of the studio, and that's where I started to build my first studio, and I started to get into sessions. And then after that, not shortly, me, DWE and Hyper formed a crew named 187 Crew. This is before Nasty Crew.
Wow, that's really going back, man.
Yeah, so we was doing that, and I was producing different records. I didn't know what it was.
I feel like a specific tune just came into your head.
Yeah, it did, but you wouldn't even know it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you might be able to find it on the internet. Do you get what I'm saying? I used to have I had another name, alias. I used to go under Aladdin as well, so I used to make some stuff under that, and so I didn't really have like my identity of who I was, but I was just making music. And like at the time, you know, it was a big thing where they used to get like beats, and then you would take someone's vocal. Like you were taking a vocal, like an American vocal, and you put it over your beat.
Yeah.
So I was doing that, so I couldn't really put my real name to some of the stuff that I was making. Do you know what I'm saying?
Those uncleared samples and that, boy. But in those days as well, it didn't even matter. And I don't think like any of us were really thinking that deep into it. It's just like we needed to make I just wanted to make a rhythm, a banger.
You needed to make it happen, basically. Do you know what I'm saying? And a lot of that time, as a producer, to be known, you have to get like a vocal everyone knows, and then put like a hot beat behind it for everyone to be like, yo, that producer's actually fire. Yeah, we know the vocal, but what he done with that was your leg in. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Remixing, like even now, I don't think remixing is
a cappella of a well-known track.
Yeah, remix just smash it.
Yeah.
A lot of people came in the game off the back of that. Do you know what I mean? And I think a lot of that was going on at the time. And then I was with D Double on radio one day, and he was like, "Yo, like need like more beats for man to spit on and that." Do you get what I'm saying?
Double was hungry for the rhythms.
Yeah, he was hungry. Double in my career, he's one of the people that I could say, like, you know, when we linked up, like a lot changed, because he was pushing this thing like, yo, you need to be the producer. You get what I'm saying? And we just need to bar and do this do this thing, we have our own sound. And he was like, yo, look, Nasty, they want us to join, because we've been doing 187 Crew for a little while, and it was like, look, Marcus has heard about us, he wants us to join.
Nasty had recently just kind of come together as well.
Nasty had been going for a bit, but they were kind of hot in the hood. It was like Storming, you know
Major,
already, that was popping. Do you get me? That's before myself, Double, even Hyper, Monkey, any of those people got brought into the equation. So that was going on, and Double was like, I'm looking to do this, like, let's do this Nasty Crew thing. Do you get what I'm saying? And to be honest, at the time, I was like, bro, we just started a crew. I don't really want to go into a bigger crew. I don't know everyone in it. And I just didn't, at the time, I just didn't feel like I was meant to be doing that. And I was like, I just want to concentrate on making instrumentals. So Double went away and done his thing. And I continued to make beats. Do you know what I'm saying? I continued to make beats. I was just in my basement. That's when I was really locked away. Like, no light, no nothing, like no sleep. Like, staying in there for like 3 days, like no sleep, no light. Do you get what I'm saying? And Double kept coming to check me every now and again and being like, yo, what's going on? Here's some beats. And he was like, you know what? Like, we need you to produce. We need you to produce some tunes for us. We need rhythms.
I think that's what Nasty was lacking at the time as well. They didn't have like a solid in-house producer for the crew. And like in those days especially, like, stuff was done in-house. So like, if you was part of a crew, you needed to have producers in there, you had to have DJs, you needed MCs.
Everything was part of the gang. You didn't go outside to get that. You had to build from within and then and go out with it. And Double was even saying a lot of the time, like back then, you know, even if your guy, he's still working and he's still developing his sound, it doesn't matter what anybody outside of that, that's the guy. We don't care what you're saying.
He's our guy.
He's the guy. Everything he does, he's the guy. Do you get what I'm saying? And I feel like that's why it's important, because our whole thing was made out of love. Obviously, as it went on, you know, the feud that happened with Not. A lot of crews, feuds happen and things separate.
It's easily done, man.
But initially, everything that within that was built out of love. Do you get what I'm saying? And Double was just like, yo, I'm gonna bring them, like, I was like, all right, you know what, just bring them to the studio, bring them man to the studio, let's try a thing, you get what I'm saying? They came to the studio, and I played, it was Sharky and Stormin, I played them a couple beats, Double was there, playing a couple beats, and then all of a sudden, without even thinking of it, like, Stormin was like, just like, I got a lyric for this. Started recording, next thing you know, we just had a tune. But the sound, it was just different. It was just we never heard nothing like this.
Because this was still around the time when garage was still big.
Yeah, garage was still
like
big. People,
other stuff happening. The transition was just beginning to happen.
People were still playing like garage instrumentals and spitting their bars over it, and then you know what I mean. There wasn't enough. There wasn't enough grime beats to even do a whole grime set. Like, and this is what, you know. This is in depth, innit? So this is the stuff that a lot of people don't understand. Like, it was a transition. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that was involved in that transition that kind of feel like maybe they're not a part of the grime scene now, but it was just like everything evolves. Do you know what I'm saying? But at the time, there wasn't enough beats, so it was like, yo, we need beats. And I just stayed in the studio, kept making beats. These men kept coming to my studio every day. At the same time this was happening, Roll Deep
was just going on, you know,
Wiley was doing the same thing with you guys, and then obviously you came into the equation. Obviously you've been making beats from before, but then like, you know what I'm saying, Creeper, Daddy, all this started coming together, and then it started to become a scene. The music started to sound a certain way, and you knew the Roll Deep sound, you knew the Nasty sound.
Exactly, you had the Rough Squad sound, like there was, and all of it was drifting further and further away from that, like that garage. You know, the main bus that was driving it up until then, which was UK Garage, we'd broken away from that, and we now had our own brand new scene. Yeah, because there was nothing, if you really want to be real, that's why you have to shout out La Cosa Nostra, Pete. You know, R.I.P. R.I.P. Pete, man.
Even Mark Lambert to an extent, Sidewinder. Because if you really think back, it was like garage raves, and this at the end, because obviously Wiley was already in the garage scene and he was already had records there.
Had that foot in.
And he had the foot in there, so he was in the room. And somehow he managed to get the man them on the last sets, innit? So if you'd remember, it'd be the whole rave. And then at the end, at the end, right at the end,
some lights.
The man them will just come up. You get what I'm saying? A couple academic tracksuits will just pop out the woodwork. You get what I'm saying? It starts looking mental. And the man had started to just touch mic and get jackums, do you get what I'm saying?
Listen.
And that was how it started. And I remember, obviously, Sidewinder and La Cosa Nostra were the only two
that were having that
were letting it happen. You know what I'm saying? Every other garage promoter.
This was before, Eskimo dance or any of this
stuff. This is way before we had any dance. We didn't have it. We didn't have nothing. We had nothing, literally. We were just trying to get into the building where they was already performing to people that to dance to a similar music, BPM to ours. We just needed to sell them our dream now. Do you know what I'm saying? And there was a lot of and I remember one time we done La Cosa Nostra, we done Room 2. I remember it's nasty, and like I remember everybody came like from the main room and like packed out Room 2. And at that time I knew something different was happening. And if you look at raves now and you look at the crowds now, if you look at back then, I'm talking raw. This is serious.
I have this conversation with people all the time, and people who have only really started getting into grime last few years, and they might have gone to an Eskimo dance recently or a Grime Originals, or like when you look out into the crowd now, you see a whole different audience from what it was then. It was like straight hood in those days. Straight hood, like I'm going to that rave, man, you know what I'm saying, just to put your music, you'd be lucky if you come out of there without no pass outs. And that's what it was. When you're going to there, you're just hoping to come back without nothing happening. So that's what we was at the time. And then after that, kind of the tape packs. Obviously, no one talks about this. This is before YouTube, before tape packs, and then the tape packs and the DVDs.
Changed the game.
Obviously,
yeah. Obviously,
we're going to talk to you about that because pioneer of that whole game, man. But I feel like now would be a great time to press play on. I ain't heard this record in a minute as well, bro. I ain't heard this in a minute.
This one's a classic, man.
Jammer is in depth tonight. Let's play a Nasty Crew classic. Take You Out. Play the classic right there, Nasty Crew and Take You Out. Jammer is in for tonight's In Depth. This is one of those ones that could be like a 3-4 hour special. Yeah. There's so much to talk about.
You gotta cut it sometimes.
Listen,
man,
100%.
Gotta chop through, you get me? Filter it out and get in the best bits, because the journey's mental.
No, the journey's been crazy, and you've been one of the few people who's been there from the very beginning and are still thoroughly involved to today. We spoke about some of those early days and Pirate Radio, of course, Nasty Crew, which you were a part of for a few years, man, and one of the most legendary crews of all time. I put it out on Twitter the other day, and it was like, who are your top 5 grime crews of all time? And I think like 95% of the people that got back in touch, and there was loads of replies, had Roll Deep, BBK, and Nasty Crew in their top 5 with others mixed in and out. And there was, but overall,
the main,
legendary times, man.
I think the thing with Nasty, right? They never ever got to break through on the mainstream. So some individuals, obviously, from the crew done their thing and broke through. But as a collective, we never ever really done went through to mainstream. We never done an album together. Yeah. So all of the great things that were done and all the legacies that were left, they're actually just pure. So when people think of Nasty, they're like, right, they don't think of anything other than the 30 part.
Because there wasn't no other part. It's just that part.
And even the other part that weren't good, it wasn't nice.
Do you
get what I'm saying? So it's like, and obviously at that time when I had to go my separate ways from Nasty, it became very dark. That was a dark time for me anyway. I know for a few other people around me, I could say, obviously maybe they might not want me to speak about their experiences, but for me it was a very dark time, and I had to. That was one of the main moments in my career. Is like, what's next now? Because it became like, protecting my neck, but also still trying to push forward and be the greatest, and that's when I kind of linked up with Slew Them, Chronic, and then Temps, and then that was another chapter that came in with Merkel, man, and then. Because remember, I was just producing before that. I didn't used to spit. Remember when Nasty? I never used to touch mic. I had like one lyric that I used to spit on the set every night.
Was you itching those times to jump on then, or were you just content with doing the DJing or producing?
It used to look fun, innit? Like I used to like the fact that man could get the mic and say something and have that impact on everyone. Yeah. Obviously, I that used to happen for my beats, but I never used to go out. I never used to go raving. I was always in the basement. So one day, them lot said to me, come to this place called Caesars. Wow. We're playing in Caesars, and like
Old Kent Road Caesars.
Yeah.
Wow.
And these that was like, yo, you got to come out to see what your tunes are doing because you're making all these tunes. We're going places, and it's mad.
Come and
you know
see
what I'm
it.
saying? Yeah, you need to see it. So I've gone to this place with them. Anyway, got to this place, the most hood place you've seen.
I was just gonna say Caesars on Old Kent Road was like.
Gig said it to me. He said, "Jam, you get me." One day I was reasoning, we was in Napa late, and he was like, "Bruv, that's why, you get me? See you, like." Caesars, I saw you there. Like, you was from East them times. Like, you just coming to push the music. Like, that wasn't safe for you.
Yeah, listen, people don't really understand. It was like it was simple as like being from East and going to do a rave like in the middle of South could have easily have implications.
Yeah,
but we were so hungry and wanted the music to spread and wanted to entertain people that it's something that you had to do if you wanted to take it further.
Music's one of those things that if you, it will get you to pass through a lot of things sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And I think because we were just so passionate about the music at the time, Nasty was pushing it and we was representing the ends, you know, we was speaking for the ends, we were trying to push forward. So I don't know what the powers around that was to like get us through all of that, but it happened, you know what I'm saying? And the real G's from back then, they know they was there, they saw. And even before any like, you know, obviously we got a lot of things. Like we had the grime scene, you had the pioneers of that, and then you had someone like Giggs who done, you know, street rap, and he's kind of the pioneer of that kind of thing. But the whole DIY thing of like grime and like being the street music, grime was the original, you know, London
the voice,
based street music. So I feel like a lot of people, you know, they liked that. Do you know what I'm saying? So certain times you could go places. I remember being places where like somebody might be trying to act up and like another guy would be like, nah, man. That man, trust me.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So yeah, we had to do a lot of groundwork, like before even for the scene to get to where it is today. Do you know what I'm saying? All the youths that are coming through now, like it's a new flood, it's great. But at those times, there was no scene. Do you know what I'm saying? This was all part of building up a scene. There was nothing existed. None of it existed. It was all part, like even you was there. So it's like I'm not explaining it to you. Like,
no, of course not. No, listen, I'm just soaking this in for the listeners' sake. You know,
yeah.
like hearing you say somebody, and even like some of the things that you're mentioning, some of them have like slipped my mind, and you're reminding me of some of these things as well. So it's great to sit down and have this chat, man. I want to talk about the moment where you did decide to pick up a mic, and not only pick up a mic, you went into the studio and made a record that still today,
I
like,
would have never made that record.
it shuts down non-stop.
I would have never made that record if it wasn't for Wiley.
Tell us, man. Tell us the story.
Because,
how did it happen?
Like I was just at that time, like I said, I was going through that whole thing with Nasty, and that was all happening. And I was spitting, but I was like, these are my first tunes, but obviously I had things to say in it. I was going through real stuff.
Yeah.
So my lyrics was about what was happening. Do you know what I'm saying? My lyrics was about what was happening, and I got a tune called "Saw It Coming" with Wiley, where I'm talking about that on that record, and Wiley was with me a lot throughout that time, just encouraging me because obviously it was a dark time, and he was just like, "Yo, you got to keep making music." But he came to my house with Maximum. And he was like, yo, that Merkel man thing you keep saying on sets, man, you get me, you got to put it down. You know what I'm saying? You got to record it. And he just kept getting on to me about it. That day I recorded it, and it was a freestyle. I never had a chorus. It was just called Merkel Man Outburst. It didn't have a chorus. And yeah, we done, and the Maximum took it that day, played it on radio that night, and that was it. Like my phone... Like I've never seen anything. I've made beats, I've done that, but that one when that happened was insane. Yeah. And then it was just going mad. It was just going crazy. And then I was going everywhere. That time, that's when kind of just before that, Jamie and Skepta came into the equation into my life, and just, like my brothers and that. And so that was popping. And then we was just running around. I was doing Malcolm Man. Their man was with me. They were coming spitting, and we was just running around pushing the music. And Skep was like, yo, you need to chop that bit at the beginning. See when you go to the radio, like, that bit that they go mad up there. Chop that, put that in each 16 and make it the chorus. So we went back to the studio, done it again, chopped another version. Yeah. You get me? And then we had that, and it was like, yo, this needs a video. Like, and at this time, Power was doing his thing. You get what I'm saying? And we was having our first kind of
real
like,
set. It was like the first kind of, after it had all been kind of laid out, okay, this is the foundation, right? This is a scene. It's like Power was kind of like the first record that was hard and that was like doing numbers. And
it was doing numbers.
Mainstream
it was
as well.
popping. I'm not gonna lie, it was popping. And I never forget, I was even getting like I shot the video for it, pull it out, then it got mad, then the bookings got mad. It was just going crazy. And I'll never forget Vice magazine at the time. They was always like early. Jamie James Medina was a guy that he kind of knew what I was trying to do from the beginning. So he was introducing me to people at Vice, and then they had the label, which, you know, they're in the States and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they was coming back and forth. They wanted to sign Merkel, man. And then was having discussion. I went to America a couple of times, done some shows with them and stuff like that. And then that thing and then the whole saga happened with Titch.
Of course, yeah.
Right, and then at the time, I never forget. It's like everything just went silent. You know what I'm saying? Like no one was calling, like.
It's like the whole industry just like was like, oh, hang on a minute, this, like, let's back away from this grime thing, man. Let's
really,
put away the checkbooks.
Yeah, checkbooks got put away. Everything got put away.
Form 696 just, you know, was dropping. Like things were, it was like the powers were just trying to shut down the scene.
Yeah, it was trying to, like, I don't know, there was a mad energy. It was like between good and positive, do you know what I'm saying? Like within the scene, you had people that was doing positive, you had people that was doing negative, but it was like a fight to like get to the other side. And I remember after doing that record, after going from doing like 3 bookings a week and that, to just no shows, to nothing, nothing's going on, it's dead. Get me, everyone's scared of grime. No one wants to, you get me, no one wants to be around it. And it was a little while. I don't remember what actually happened.
It was a tricky little period, to be fair. Like,
yeah,
when like you said, it really went quiet and there was no shows anymore, and shows were getting shut down, and even pirate radio seemed like it had less buzz, and then you had artists were then starting to make commercial music to try and have a way of getting to the main or having some success, and it was a proper confusing time, man.
So, and even coming through the back of that, like, and as well, that's mainly why, partly, I feel some of the commercial records may have got made, because it was like, it was almost tarnished at the time, do you know what I'm saying? So like, people had to like push their, I don't know, there's a like compromise. There's a compromising going on. And we were just running and doing our thing, but I never forget, it was like, that was happening, but like, all like some of the members from my crew, it wasn't a crew at that time, but every like man around me, we were just continuing to go places, and if there was a show, even if it wasn't a grime rig, we'd just go there. So we know the DJ, do you get me? Just, give him 2 tunes and just let him spin and just keep trying to push the thing. And then, even at that time, I started to, because Merkel one was still going on. And then, do you know what happened? I remember Dizzy heard Merkel, man. He heard it. And then he was like, yo, like, I remember this time, he wasn't around anyone from the scene.
Yeah, Boy in the Corner had dropped. He had Lordy left roll deep. He was doing his thing.
Yeah, you didn't see him at these times. Yeah. And I remember him calling me, man. He's like, yo, you need to come. Because I didn't know that. He was just like, maths and English. Like, I need you on maths and English. I'm thinking, at the time I didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So
ended up being his album title, of course.
Which was the album. So I've come to studio where Vibes, and he's like, I'll never forget it. It's like, we had the remix beat and they put it on. He's like, nah. He was like, nah, don't use the chorus from before. Say it again, innit? Like, for this version, innit? So I've jumped in the booth. And he was like, rah, sounds just like the record. Get me? So everyone were in the studio, our double was there where Gas was made the remix. Put it down. And then he was like, we're doing Reading, like, festival, whatever. But he was already in that
lane, he was already doing this.
He was already doing this. Like, no one, only maybe Bizzle might have been getting one to, but not on the level of what Diz was at the time. Do you get what I'm saying? Everything else other than that, like Wiley got signed, but obviously at the time, you know what was happening was the deal, that was pushing that. You get what I'm saying? So things was happening.
But not on that scale.
Yeah, because, like I said, all that thing that happened with my man, like obviously Will and Nick was going through the deals that happened. Obviously, I like Nasty Crew, I was doing things for them at the time. I was speaking to Jade from Polydor, so obviously conversations was happening, but like I said, when that whole scenario happened, now the waters got a bit
murky.
Yeah, it got a bit murky, and then he was, Dill was like, yeah, I'm doing like Reading and Leeds Festival, boom, 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 come do this. And at the same time, we was in the studio and he was building maths and English, and he was like, yo, we made a tune called Lemon. It was me, Double Foots and Diz. Done that. That was for maths and English, but in the end, we couldn't put it on because the people who had to Puff the Magic Dragon, they wanted to, get what I'm saying, it was all that stuff. So it didn't get to make the album, but we were still touring it. We were still doing the shows, coming out, and that's where kind of I saw what our music was, the potential.
Yeah.
You get me? Because I'd never even really said this. There's no interview where you will even hear me talk about this, because that was even that whole time we was doing that. It's not really something I speak about again. I'll tell you why after. But yeah, Dizzy, even though I knew that was happening, but Dizzy kind of exposed me to that and made me see it. And then I was like, yo, so I started telling other men, yo, these shows are going on. You get what I'm saying?
Because until then, it was like, you if you was a grime artist, you'd performed in clubs.
Yeah,
you might have done like
clubs,
a Sidewinder or Eskimo was like your big pinnacle. We didn't know that it was being embraced like that, out there like that.
No, because the corporate side, the people that was doing it, they knew that how to translate, to push that over to there, but we had no knowledge of it. Remember, we're still building at this time. So like, I think for me, everything was an eye-opener. Every step that I got to, it helped me understand what I was trying to do. Obviously, people around me, my brethren. So I was saying, looking at this thing, I'm like, yo. So I was like, all right, cool. And at the time it was happening, I started to like invite a couple man out. You get me? So they could see.
Yeah.
Because I was around that.
It's
so I was
inspiring
like,
to see as
come and see what I go on. So you get me? And then we was doing that, and I remember Dizzy done IB for Rocks. This is before anyone was doing IB for Rocks and any of this stuff. Like no one was doing it. It was coming out doing like 15 tunes. They knew every tune.
Like,
you get what I'm saying? I'm looking at them and thinking, all right, cool.
I don't think some people don't really understand like how far Dizzy took it, how early he took it as well.
Because
like,
the thing
it was
is
super
this,
early.
Everybody gets onto him as well. I'm not defending it, but I'm saying obviously he done a lot of things before everybody. He had to deal with the slap in the face of whatever situation happened before a lot of man. You know, the doors that he had to open. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
With you know, just his whole situation. So I've seen that side of it, so I can understand. But also I've seen the other side. I know everybody in the equation. Like I said, I've seen Will's side of the story. So, but at that time, it was like, I was touring with them, and I was meant to put my album out, and it was just taking long, innit, at the time. And I was just like, me and Diz had a conversation. He was like, yeah, man, I'm not trying to stop you from putting your album out. You know what I'm saying? And slow it down. So if you want to do whatever you want to do, you can. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, Big Dada, Wiley was talking to me. He was like, yo, Big Dada's. Get me? They want to put the album out now, like they're feeling like it's the time. Do you know what I'm saying? So I ended up doing a deal with them, bringing out the album Jumanji. Done that, but it was all a learning experience for me. Obviously, it was cool, and everyone down there. But it's just like I realized as well, like at that time, I wasn't ready to do a deal. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like because that's what you think.
I think a lot of artists, that is like the automatic thing. I've got an album. Okay, my next step is do a record deal. Then and like you said, timing is everything as well. I feel like sometimes a record deal could be too early, could be too late. Like how an artist, you know, what an artist wants from their own career can change over time. So I think timing's a big part of signing deals, releasing albums, and all of that stuff.
100%, and it was a learning curve for me to learn a lot more. Obviously, I had my own label from before. I've been putting out my record. I've been putting vinyls out. Umpteenth releases, over 100 releases on my own label. Do you know what I'm saying? Like way before I even got to this point. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not like we didn't know how to work our scene.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I was working at Central Direct, you know, kids don't try this at home, but obviously, you know, when they was having all the databases and the shops and stuff like that, obviously I was just taking note.
Of course,
tapping into that. I was just taking notes. So when I left there, I was Essential Direct, but for them and them.
Yeah, exactly,
You get what I'm saying? So, and with having that knowledge, obviously, with Righty, we set up the distribution company, which went on to release Tinchy Strider's first record, Kano's first record. Actually, Kano's first record was on Jamaica World Productions, right? But it still came through the same distribution company. Jamie and Skepta's first press. This is all the first presses because obviously Wiley at the time introduced me to Terry down at Stratford. So we knew the infrastructure. I had the shops, the database. So we just set up our own thing and started distributing.
It was like a whole DIY movement.
Whole DIY. So
I'm glad you mentioned Ratty as well because you Ratty, big up Capo as well.
Yeah, 100%.
You guys came together at a time when the scene was growing and there was lack of documentation. Like the scene wasn't being documented visually, like in any real way. Like Channel U, I think had just started to emerge, hadn't made an impact.
When we was doing our ting talk, they did that was way after. That's what I'm saying. We remember we was on like 5th installation.
Yeah.
Of Lord of the Mics, or do you know what I'm saying? Or like no, Lord of the Mics. I mean Lord of the Decks. Yeah. So that was. All right, let's be real. The first time anyone that was spitting like that in the scene. When we brought back Lord of the Decks and man saw themselves on a cover, man couldn't believe it. Man couldn't believe it.
Until then, it was like, it was a time when we used to watch like the American DVDs, like
Smack
DVD,
and that,
and like we had nothing like that.
We had nothing, and even thing. Obviously, me and Risky Road always have this banter and stuff. But obviously, and people always say to me like, "Oh man, you don't say. Why don't you say what you done? Like, why don't you like?" I don't know, man. Saying too much is a bit whack sometimes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're doing an interview, we can talk about stuff. But like me being like, yo, you get me? I started this. I did like it starts to become a bit like you're not meant to say that, and I know someone else is meant to say it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the whole DVD thing, do you know what I'm saying? Like, man was documenting even before I linked up with Ratty and Capo. That Lord of the Mics footage, that's just my camera. Yeah. Like me, we used to roll about and I used to have my camera on me all the time, filming loads of stuff.
I remember seeing you out and about with the video camera.
Yeah, all the time.
I remember when it ended up on Lord of the Decks, but we went to Europe for a booking.
Yeah, the first ever, actually.
A fact, yeah.
Let's just have it right.
It might have been the first.
It was the first ever European Grand booking.
Yeah, because it was me, you, Lethal Bizzle, Kano.
Yeah. And we called it
double.
It was called This Is Grime.
Wow.
Before the book came out.
Yeah. This is like 15 years before the book came out.
Right. So that because I remember I was watching in my yard and I saw it and I was laughing with Olivia and Hattie and I was like, look, this is crazy. But I remember it's the first time I remember we got like 2 bottles of champs.
Yeah, we was super gas. We was in another country.
And brother, it was even Bizzle was with us. There was guys that was doing bits. But remember, the music wasn't touching other sides of the...
Not at all. This was like groundbreaking. Like we were flown to another country. We were playing and probably not getting paid that much, but we were there. People were coming out to see us and hear the music. It was like
we played from sun till light. Remember, it was an outside venue.
We didn't stop. It just kept going and kept going.
Because we was just happy to be somewhere that in England that people can appreciate our music. These people didn't even speak our language at the time as well, and they're just in it. There's footage. There's on Lord of the Deck.
I remember because the records. Somebody left the records in the hotel room.
Oh my gosh!
And we didn't have the key.
That's the famous Superman Dread footage.
That is the best. That's one of the most funniest pieces of footage of you I've ever seen.
But you're in it as well on the list.
Yeah, I'm in it as well. But
two black men sneak into the hotel.
Like the way that Jammer double drop kicked this hotel door.
I still got knee troubles from like 10 years later.
If you get a chance to go online and find that, it was legendary. But Lord of the Decks and then later Lord of the Mics, which became even more legendary because clashing and battling was something that Grime was also built on. The whole sound system influence from early
100%
became was a thing on pirate radio, and that was another thing that hadn't been properly documented, and you guys just set up the platform where we could do this on a bigger scale, man. And some of the most legendary Grime clashes have happened on Lord of the Mics over the years.
Because there's 2 things about it, right? There was, at the time, it was tape packs, right? So you never really knew what anyone looked like. So you only knew the voice, which was great as well. People really used to be into like the voice of the person, innit? But then, obviously, what I feel like Lord of the Mics and Lord of the Decks done, it actually changed it into a scene.
Yeah.
Because people that was on it was coming back to me like, yo, Jam, I went Birmingham, fam. People are recognizing me. It's mad. Wait, like, when's the next thing coming? I want to jump on it. You know what I'm saying? Because man are saying like, this is a different thing now. I'm walking down the road, people are stopping me, spitting my bar back to me. Like, they know it's me. They're putting an identity. That gave people identities.
Up until then, you could have been the most known pirate grime MC.
But no one knows what you look like, and no one cares. No one cares. And unless you was in the rave and they heard your voice and you spat your bar, that's when you said, when like D-Double will be in a rave with us, at that time at a Palace Pavilion or something, and a lot of people might not know what he looks like. No one's coming up to us, but as soon as he gets the mic, it's mad, because that's where it was coming through. Do you know what I mean? But like the DVDs, what I could say, you know, I can openly say this. People can dispute it, but I know for a fact that like all of those guys that were put on those DVDs, when they after that happened, came back and was like, yo, this is crazy.
100%.
And as well, because Lord of the Mics wasn't just about bars, like it wasn't just about tunes. So it was more entertainment. It wasn't just a grime song or grime mixtape or grime set. It was entertainment. It was two people showing their characters and delivering who they are. Do you know what I'm saying? And with charisma, with jokes, with some funny parts in it, and also a lot of skill in it. So what happened is it actually got into people's households, not your everyday grime listeners' household. Like a man will come over and like link a chicken, like, oh, I got this thing, you know, you could, or they will go and link his project. Everyone will come and they'll have a little drink up, a little smoke up, and everyone will watch it.
Grime was getting consumed in a different way now.
Yes, exactly. And I think it brought a lighter-hearted part to the scene. Because remember, like I said, it was like those early moments and early clashes and stuff like that. It was all real. Nothing was staged. Nothing was. No. There wasn't no kind of friendly. We'll shake hands at the end. We'll spud and say, "Oh, well done." Like you guys did bring that. You brought the element of, okay, we've had our battle. Let's shake hands at the end. Best man won or whatever. Yeah, because I used to speak to a lot of people. They used to be like, "Oh, but you do that thing, man. It's negative, man. You make people like say horrible things to each other and stuff." But what I had to explain to a few people one time, it was like, that's the true strength. You know what I'm saying? If I can bring two brothers together that would have normally kicked off and something crazy would have happened, I can bring them in a room and make them say the most messed up shit to each other, messed up stuff to each other, and then after make them shake hands and be blessed, and then when it comes out, they also benefit off the back of it and elevate to a better place. You know? Why not?
It's a no-brainer, man.
It's a no-brainer.
While we're talking about Lord of the Mics, I got to ask you, I got to get your verdict on a couple of the legendary clashes over the years. I don't want you to sit on the fence.
Nah, do you know what? That's why it's lasted so long, Togs. Because I sit on the fence.
Yeah, I hear that. I'm trying to get you to climb off for this one moment.
Do you know what? It's mad, yeah, because I'm going to try and answer the question for you, but it's so mad for me because even my opinion changes every year.
It's true.
Or 3 months.
To be fair, I'm going to give you that because I've watched like from the very beginning when it first dropped, and I've gone back to Lord of the Mics 1, and sometimes I've changed my opinion. I've gone to 2, but hang on a minute. I understand that fully, man. But let's just try and see if we can get through a few of them anyway. Right. Start with Lord of the Mics 1. Kano versus Wiley. Who took that?
See, you're trying to just like.
I'm just throwing
my good friends, man. You know,
let's put a disclaimer out for the man there.
It's a disclaimer, but you know what it is? For years, Wiley felt like I was saying Kane won anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And obviously, I speak to, like, remember, I know Wiley put a second thing out. Do you remember when he put a second thing out to re-battle Kane?
Yeah.
For Lord of the Mics? Because I think that's one thing that he feels like he can't live that down. He feels like he could, if he had another opportunity, he would go back in different and say other stuff. I think he done well because he was just put on the spot. Do you know what I'm saying? He didn't have a time to preparate too much. You know, he used what he had. He improvised. He flinging Kane's name in there and just made it happen. But Kane at the time, Wiley is already, and the thing is, people like knew, innit? Like, I've been in the game for quite a long time. People like knew, innit? So at the time, they were just ready to hair Kano.
Yeah.
Everybody had heard Wiley clash bare people before. Do you know what I'm saying? We love him. We knew he was doing that. But what really was going on there, Wiley was just giving Kano a platform, along with myself, to show the world that he's one of the greatest artists to come out of Great Britain. That's what that was. That's all it was.
And it worked, man.
Yeah, that, you know what I'm saying? And
it worked.
But yeah, like I said, Kane, at the time, Kane was coming with them flows and like jumping around and filling in other gaps and loops that
people hadn't.
No Grime
touched
MC
yet.
was even
Yeah.
touching. Do you know what I'm saying? The closest to that was Sharky, but he was still kind of too deep for some people. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Kano was just saying like he was touching the pockets and he was saying fast flows and intricate stuff, but it was clear to just hear now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I could say like Kane. You know, a lot of people say Kane, but like obviously I got a scream Will. So like I said, I'm still on the fence, man.
That was the most diplomatic answer of a question I could have possibly imagined. I'm just gonna run through a few of the other ones. Skepta and Devilman. This one might be a bit easier.
Skep won that. Skep won that. But you know what? Obviously, Skep won it.
But again,
Skep he could have got Skep in that clash if he had done one thing.
Yeah, and again, also, like you said, Skep was trying to showcase Birmingham and the accents and what was going on
100 million
within
percent
grime
before
around the country.
anybody was even, do you know what I'm saying? Before anybody was even trying to care about like accents and like, do you know what I'm saying? Bringing even anyone else out of London in. So and the thing is, that's why that's what this interview should be about. This is that, like, if I'm really talking to you, it's about what's really behind all of this.
Because that's what I think. That's why I like to do these, because a lot of the history's there. You know, people have watched Lord of the Mics. They know some of the history of Nasty, or they think they know, but they don't really know what was behind it. What was the thought process? What was the reason that happened? How did that really elevate and take grime? So I think having this convo now, especially with you and about Lord of the Mics and all this stuff, it puts it into perspective and puts into context how things happen and why they happened as well.
100%. And as well, like I said, I was thinking about this on the way here. It's like, I knew we was going to be the great, like, best from Britain. I knew we was going to, you know, be it. I didn't know exactly how it was going to pan out, but I knew this was what we was doing at the time was special. You know, like, think about when we was back in it. Think about when we was really doing that initial graft, how it felt if you take your mind back to there. It
felt like, it definitely felt like, okay, something special's happening here. You just didn't, like you said, you didn't know what the real end goal was going to be. You didn't necessarily have all the steps to the pieces to the puzzle there in front of you.
Monkey said it to me one time. He stopped me in the show. I didn't see him for like maybe over 8 years, 10 years. I didn't see Monkey, and he stopped me. He's like, "Jammer, man, you know what? Yeah, I just have to say something to you, man." It's like, thanks, because you was the blind leading the blind. And I was like, I didn't get what he was saying to me at the beginning, but basically what he was saying is like, you didn't really know where you was going, but you knew you was going somewhere that could work, and you was just telling us to roll.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and that's what this whole thing was about. Like, just building. Like, to be honest, if I died today, my work's done anyway. Like, none of this matters. Like, my mixtape coming, my album, like, it doesn't matter. That's just for me. That's for me to continue doing what I do. In the world, my job's done. There's people, there's boys from the street that are coming up now, making careers, changing their mum's life, getting themselves out of trouble, building companies for themselves. My job's done. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
of course, man.
So that's what I really care about. Like, when I look at the scene now, obviously sometimes, you know, you are older artists, sometimes you feel, get me, I'm pushing 35, you know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of young other stuff going on, and you got to understand, you know what I'm saying? But that's nothing to do with me. Like, I just got to be happy that what we try to build is actually, infrastructure is great. Obviously there's a lot of things going, like, we're independent, innit? We're like DIY, self-driven. Obviously I don't mind artists doing deals, but I always will say to artists, make sure you got a good solicitor, make sure you make sure you get the deal that you want.
I was going to mention that as well, because you are someone who, like, you've got your beliefs, you've got all the experience that you've gained over the years, and you are someone who is outspoken about situations, whether it be in a positive way, sometimes it's to address something negative that's going on, but you always put what you're thinking out there, man.
Yeah.
And sometimes, obviously, that's not always taken in the best way, but in other times, at the same time, you're handing over experience and giving the next generation, you know, a heads up on certain situations.
I've also had to understand as well, people need to learn to make their own mistakes. So, like, I'll be around people sometimes and I'm like, oh, like, I've had a bad experience with that guy, like, or that company, do you know what I'm saying? Or they might have done. So, but it doesn't mean necessarily that's going to be a bad experience for you. But obviously you still got to be aware. If I knew something, if I go out there and it's a left and a right, but there's bare oil on the floor, and you're going to the toilet, and I don't say, oh, you see when you go to the toilet, be careful though, because someone dropped baby oil. You know what I'm saying? I'm snaking it.
Yeah.
But then
man, slipping all over. I'll be going to slipping on the oil.
You broke your arm. I could have saved you. But in some cases, you can't save everyone. You can't, because, you know, it's even in this day and age, man, we can't, oh yeah, but you get me, why are you trying to tell me, like, man will just think you're trying to stop them doing what they're doing. Do you get what I'm saying? So you got to let a man actually go and make a mistake and go and do a deal and then realise that he didn't want to do it off him. Before you can even have that conversation with him, I can't think everybody's going to understand what I understand already, because I've gone through all those things already, took knocks, setbacks and things and losses and L's and whatever to realise where I'm at with it. Do you know what I'm saying? But maybe they got to go through and do their thing. So like as a older in the situation, I can just look back and see the scene of all, and it's not just the grime scene anymore. I used to be patriotic about it, like the grime scene. No, we built this, like you can't do that in it, you can't come in there, you can't do that, you can't be too commercial, you can't, like, really, it's out of my hands now anyway. It's just like, that's why I said my job's done. I realised this like a beginning of like, or maybe the middle of last year, do you know what I'm saying? You can't, like, it's nothing to do with me no more. It is. Yeah,
but I fully understand what you mean. Like, your role in this was to build it, to set it up, to allow it to be able to happen.
Yeah.
And anything else now is
and I've accomplished that.
Yeah.
And I've been successful at that. Do you know what I'm saying? Whether some people will say that, oh, well, you didn't do that, whatever they want to say, I was there. The guys that know I was there, it's cool.
Yeah.
We can talk about it, because you're not in that discussion. You get what I'm saying? You're in this new discussion that exists because of our other discussion.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So that's cool too. But like for me as an individual, I've had to realise, like my job's done there. These people are now, there's people there now and they're ready to grow. They're maybe ready to continue my job, whether I like it or not, whether they do something not so good or they do the greatest thing. But that, my opinion on that is, you know what I'm saying? You're at the stage now where we're at the stage where it doesn't matter.
Yeah. If you're just checking in, tonight's In Depth is with none other than Jammer from BBK, and we're talking about the whole history, man. We've just been going back and looking forward as well, because Boy Better Know, for me, last couple of years has just taken the flag of grime and just flown it with I don't know, like to levels that none of us probably would have expected, man. I remember it was probably it was 2014, March 2014, I believe it was, and I was in Dubai, and Wiley and Skepta had a show in Abu Dhabi, and they came and picked me up, and we went to the show together, spent the time together, and Skepta was literally, we had this conversation, Skepta was like, I've had enough of the UK, like, it's not happening, like, there's nothing more for me there, I need to go somewhere else and just build it again from scratch. He's like, I'm going to go to New York, I'm going to spend some time out there. Yeah. And, you know, I said to him, you sure? Like,
we done it together. Like, I was talking to him the other day, that's what I'm saying.
Literally,
we could get into that as well.
And I was like, are you sure? And then when we came back from the Middle East, like, he headed to America, you was out there as well with him for some time, and literally, like, 6 months later, you could feel like there was a change in what was going on, and you was hearing all this news about Skepta making waves out there in America, and at the same time, Meridian Dan had just dropped German Whip, and Grime felt like it had this whole new energy, and it literally felt like how I felt like in 04. Like that energy of the music and where it was coming from and where it was trying to get to, it was almost like someone had pressed reset.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I feel like the problem before, and not even the problem, I just like feel like in London, people was putting every other music from around the world on top of our music, do you know what I'm saying? It was always praising everything else more than the people that were working in front of their eyes, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you would have people like club promoters, radio DJs, basically everyone was a fan of someone that was further away than them. So like, see someone like me, you might see me at Plastic People, or you might see me around, so you're kind of spot for, like, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter, it's just jam, we see him all the time, do you know what I'm saying? So when another person comes in from there, it's like they make a big deal. And if that continues, you're never gonna matter. You're never ever gonna matter. Do you know what I mean? And I think like because Skep said it to me, he was like, "Look, man, obviously, man, have been doing work here for a long time." He was like, "Look, we just need to go there, and live it and be at who we are, and even certain times like we'd be out there like and we go radio, we do whatever we're doing, do you know what I'm saying? But we kept our accents the same, do you know what I'm saying? Like what we represent the same, we spat the same, didn't try to jump on their beats really, do you know what I'm saying? Like we were just doing our thing, you know what I'm saying?
Which is completely different from what would usually happen. It's like maybe you'd have some success here, then you'd go to America, you'd do a track that's for America, like it'd be catering for their audience, probably on their kind of beats, and like you guys were doing it the UK way.
But it was from ground up, because I don't know if a lot of people understand, like in New York and like certain places, there's like you see like how Shoreditch is.
They've got those same
but mass, big, like, do you know what I'm saying? They got that follow, they got that, you know, those people that just care about the music, they just care about the art. They just care about what it sounds, they want something new as well. These people have been listening to the same kind of repetitive beats and like styles
for years.
Do you know what I'm saying? So there were people ready, there were just people ready to hear something new. And I think that's where the crossover happened. And like people that were open-minded, like, you know, someone like Virgil, you know, he knew that cross was happening, but he was the American more connected to kind of just bring certain people together, like, or to make certain conversations happen, or to get certain people in the room together. You know what I'm saying? And like you saw that Brits thing happen with Kanye.
That was another crazy moment. Like we don't like to, you know, give the Americans too much props for what's happening in the UK, because of course it's been built by us, but those moments, that Kanye moment, the couple of Drake moments, like those definitely help to put a foot up, especially when it comes to America.
I say those are great moments, but you know, for UK people, it's very sad moment also, because what it shows me is that, you know, it takes for someone across the water to say, no, you lot sleep, and these guys are the hardest out. These men are coming with the freshest thing you ever seen. But these men have got swags that we've never seen. These men have got slangs we don't know what it is. These men are saying yatty or gash, like, or you get me?
Yeah.
Man are looking mad. Like, man are looking like the new. What's this?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So when you've got that, and then someone's like, oh, they understand that. They understand what that is and what can come out of that and how much can actually be generated from that. But then everyone where you're from is like, they just wasn't rating it. But now, well, they might have been rating it a bit. Don't get it twisted. Things was happening, but not to the scale, you know, of what it was happening. What it was happening. So then you would have like someone like Ye or Drake say, this is the thing, or like Drake get the BBK title or whatever, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, like even just like people like on radio, like all of a sudden people are A-listing tunes, people are doing crazy things. When before that you couldn't even get a tune, certain tunes played on the radio. Do you get what I'm saying? So
how did that feel for you personally, and like I know you can't speak on behalf of everyone in the crew, but for you personally, how did it feel like a little bit of a sore one? Because like as much as it was great and you guys were getting all of this attention from places that hadn't been paying attention, at the same time, was there a little bit like, well, you didn't care the other day?
Yeah, there was that. But every day I had to tell myself, what are you going to do now? Now everyone's caring, you're going to moan about that you didn't care. Do you get what I'm saying? That's like, I see that as backwards, you get what I'm saying? Like, obviously you just got to let it happen, that's when I started to learn about letting it happen, do you know what I'm saying? Because I could have been, no man, no. Some people you just don't send it because you know it's a super bread and they're trying to use your thing to pattern their thing, you know what I'm saying? But there's other ones that you just have to let happen because it's kind of what you wanted anyway. You get me? Maybe it didn't happen on your terms of how you wanted it to happen, but it's happening. And that's all that matters, isn't it? When it's happening, do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, for Boy Better Know, that was not even just for as a collective and individuals. I just feel like, those things happen. We went there, we done that, Skep done the tour, you know, all of it gelled together. And like some people will say like, oh yeah, but some people claim that they brought England and America closer together. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not going to say I did it solely.
You're always going to get the, like, now that it's happened, you're going to get the guys. Like, you're going to get the people like, well, do you remember when it was me?
That's what I'm saying. I've been hearing all of that. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, a lot of people was doing stuff through record labels. It's like, oh, you're signed to that label. Okay, so we got that artist on the label over there. All right, we're going to link you up. When you don't come here, you're going to pattern. You get what I'm saying? I think there's nothing to do with that. Man is walking on the roads. Man is bucked. Whoever man's bucked out there, whoever man's with, or you get me. Man weren't really even around the biggest rappers, really, for a lot of the time. Man was more rolling with the youths that were coming up, doing their thing. You get me, the Wikis of the world and the the Remy's and like all them guys there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and even Bari before his thing popped. You know what I'm saying? Like he was, get me, in the mix. You know what I'm saying? So, I feel like It Ain't Safe was a groundbreaking crossover record that just made London and America come together like really big. And to be honest, a lot of people went to America and some people might have had a good song there. They might have popped, you get me? I think at one time, Tiny had a big record out there with the guy from...
Written in the Stars, I think was in the WrestleMania theme tune and stuff. Like, there's been moments where, it's been close, but never from that cultural...
But exactly, that's what I'm talking about. From a cultural perspective, from a movement perspective, from a lifestyle perspective. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, where people want to now buy into what you're doing. They want to learn about you. They think this is amazing. Like, they think you're a breath of fresh air. So that is what I think made that happen. Because if you look at it now, it's a lot of people are like, oh yeah, that guy's Grime. That guy's Grime. If you look at a lot of these Breakfast Club interviews or like Hot 97 interviews,
like every UK artist,
they'll just say, basically, if you're black
yeah.
and you spit, you're Grime.
Yeah.
But that's cool too. I used to think, like they're getting it confused. They're tainting the. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously it becomes confusing. You know, you might have an artist had some big Grime records, but then he's done a pop record now.
And the pop record blows.
And it's blowing. Like, so if now someone in, I don't know, North Texas hears this record, as far as they're concerned, he's a Grime artist and this is a Grime record. You get what I'm saying? So for me, that kind of, it gets a bit hazy at that stage. But like I said, my job's done. Because even if you're a rapper and you don't like me and everything, this thing what we done that we call Grime, it's made people just respect what man do. So whether they call you it or not, but when they do call you it, it's on a bad man thing. So they rate it.
Even like the UK rap thing, like it didn't have a platform and like I said, gigs broke down a whole load of doors. At the same time, Grime was that first door opener for UK rap as well.
Yeah, for everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking from the heart here. Like, I've seen it all. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, it's not a shun on any man's thing, but obviously that thing was there, it existed before. It was like the blueprint to a lot of stuff in the UK. Do you know what I'm saying? It's the DIY way to really come up and do your thing. Do you know what I'm saying? It was really with us. The only reason why we had to do all of that stuff is because they wasn't letting us do anything. Because think about it, if the radio was always A-listing our records and if the labels was always giving us the right... We would have had less power.
Wouldn't have needed to be pressing up white labels and doing all the stuff that had to be done in those foundation days.
We would have had less power. We wouldn't have learned as much. You know what I'm saying? So I've had these discussions. I'm happy for a lot of the knockbacks and setbacks and stuff like that because now I have a lot more knowledge and I can take myself further. Myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Got to ask you as well while you're here. Boy Better Know album. Are we gonna get one? Is it gonna be this year if we do get one?
It's mad, man. Do you know what it is? When I watch people with interviews and they're like, I saw it like 2 days ago. Oh yeah, but I can't really talk about it. Yeah. It's mad, yeah, because if it was my thing, I would just say whatever in it. But obviously because I got because it's a whole crew, it's a collective thing, you know what I'm saying? But there's stuff's happening, man. Like I don't wanna, because when I say something, then all of a sudden now there's pressure, there's it, you know what I'm saying? It's not, but man are together, you get me, man are vibes in, you get me, man are working, man are going to studio, things are happening, do you get what I'm saying? 2018,
you already know everyone's looking forward to that. And not only that as well, because you've got new music dropping as well, the brand new mixtape, Are You Done Volume 5, out in February, another collection of bangers from you.
Yeah, Are You Done 5 is just like, I done that because it's training for me. It's like going back to the gym, innit? That's what that is. It's going back to the gym. I've done it. I've gone to the gym. I've trained. You get me? I've been drinking bare water, and I've dropped and that's coming. You get what I'm saying? I got this single Skank on Me, which is dropping. Now it'll be out by the time this comes out. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's just like I said. I was saying to Anika. As soon as I make a project, you know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as you leave the gym, you just need to eat now, innit? And then go back. So I'm not really You know what I'm saying? I've made that for the people to go and enjoy it. And I'm gonna enjoy it too, but right now I need to make the next thing for the people to enjoy. So I'm just on my treadmill at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
I hear that, man. I hear that about that. Lord of the Mic 7, maybe.
Yeah, you know what it is as well. Lord of the Mic 7. With Lord of the Mics, I was doing all of that because, you know, it still is one of the biggest brands to come out of grime scene. And obviously I had the knowledge to push and good PR. Do you know what I'm saying? I had this product that I could put a lot of people on around the country and push it and get some more MC. Because remember, at a time there wasn't a lot of people doing grime. Yeah. Remember, it was like really everyone was being successful in commercial, and everyone was trying to push the barrier and spit on some next beat. You know what I'm saying? And boom, boom, boom. So I was like, you know what? How can we still continue some of our culture going on? Because pirate radio station wasn't there really no more. Like even back in the day, like old pirates, like how Radio 1 and Radio 1 Extra, it's not the same. Like
everything had changed. Everything was starting to move away from it.
Everything started to move away. So I was like, you know, what can I do to like keep? Because it's more than just songs. It's like we all meet it up. Remember, we would all meet up at events and like come do the Lord of the Mic. Like people come together for Lord of the Mic's live. Everybody was under that roof with Big H and P Money. Everyone was under that roof. Do you know what I'm saying? So it was more to bring back the vibe of what we do, you know what I'm saying? And then it got to the stage where it's like everybody was just demanding money off me because like obviously you had the Gets clash and you had the P Money clash at the time. It was popping, shutting it in the
People started seeing those dollar signs in their eyes.
But I'm a businessman. I know if I give them like 10 grand or 20 grand at the time of what it was doing and the hype that it was accumulating, I'm gonna make that back. Even if I don't make profit off the DVD, it's worth it for the scene. I'm gonna make back that money that I put into that. So that's what it was about. It's just about showing not only it was about showing the corporates, it was about showing everybody that if I'm not gonna invest in my own music or my people,
then who is?
Who's gonna do it? Do you know what I'm saying? So that was really my thing, and I went through a lot of things at that time. Remember HMV liquidized? I lost a lot of money with that HMV liquidizing. There's things happening. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, I don't really talk about it every day. I might have said it in a lyric here and there. Do you get what I'm saying? People might pick up on it.
Yeah.
But Lord of the Mics has never been about money for me. People always think, yo, you're doing this popping, you're making bare P. A lot of the time, if you really want to look at the books on that, a lot of money gets spent on making that what it is. You know what I'm saying? And even when I done the thing with P Money and Big H, and I done the £100 or £150 tickets, whatever it was, and everyone was, obviously it sold out. Where everyone's saying you're insane, you're bumping people or whatever, £100 ticket. But no, what you have to understand is that wouldn't have happened unless I thought of that genius idea to generate that money for those, so to pay them off. So my next DVD, when I release it, wasn't paying back for just that. And that's what a business would do. Do you know what I'm saying? But like, I think it's a class thing. It's not so much a colour thing. I think in a class thing, it's like, if someone from a corporate comes to them and says, oh yeah, we're doing this like battle thing, you know, like there's no money in it, but it's our brand, you know, that a big corporate brand that you might know, but you're gonna be on it, so there's no money in that, but like
people will jump on it.
So they're gonna go on a thing that's nothing to do with our culture. It's never helped them. They'll go do that for free, spit to the thing, bread these people. But then if I phone them, the guy that's been going in hard for them, the guys are asking about 10 racks.
About a bag and all that. Can we get the bag, jammer?
Yeah. So that's why I haven't done no Lords of the Mics for a minute. Because when I was doing it, and when Wiley was in the basement, and Kane was in the basement, and Skeppy was in the basement, it wasn't for no money. It'll be better if they just came to the clash with a £5 in their pocket, because it was about the music. And that's why I've stopped for a bit. I've said to Ratty, do you know what I'm saying? I'm not really trying to do it anymore until I go. I want to get back on the road, drive up and down, and see some kids in their estate, in their environment that just got good bars and they want to help themselves. They'll put them on the DVD. I want to put the guy that thinks he's rough already or thinks he's the best, like already thinks that he's made it. He ain't even sold no records. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it.
That makes perfect sense, man.
You get me? But that's you might see something this year, but it might not be Lord of the Mics. You get what I'm saying? I got something in the pipeline.
Another direction, man.
Yeah, no, I got another thing in the pipeline. You get me? You can see it there. I've had it on my skin for a little while. Big Mike, man. You get me? That's something I want to launch with. You get me? With Flowdown.
Okay, listen. I don't even know what it's about yet, but just hearing you and Flowdown have got to launch something called Big Mike, man. That's interesting enough for me, man. Jam, like literally, like I said, we could just talk all night about all of this stuff, man. But I got to thank you for passing through, man, spreading that knowledge, you know, giving people the history, some of that real behind the scenes stuff that's helped build what we got today, man. So I think there's plenty of us in the studio. We can make some noise inside for Jammer.
You done, no T.
Jam, as always, bruv. Good to catch up with you, brother.
Bless up.